Do not indulge in poison because there is an antidote. Mattosho, Letter 20. Lamp for the Latter Ages. All of us have been trapped in samsara, the vicious cycle of birth and death, for many trillions of lives, without an effective method that could surely extricate ourselves from it. We are so strongly drugged by the poisons of greed, hatred, ignorance, jealousy, and arrogance, that they have now become the deeply ingrained habits which constantly overwhelm our lives. Thus, we continue to transmigrate endlessly, in pain and suffering, within the 6 treacherous realms of samsara. In Letter 20 of his Mattosho, Lamp for the Latter Ages, Venerable Master Shinran rejoices that many of his followers, persons like us, have now discovered the antidote to samsara, in Amida's Primal Vow, and are certain to be born in the Pure Land. However, he poignantly appeals to all of us not to indulge ourselves in the 3 poisons of greed, anger, and folly, just because we have found the antidote. This letter was written by Master Shinran to his followers on the 8th-month, 19th day, in the year 1252. We are now reading the letter from its excellent English translation, credited in the acknowledgments section below. I have received all the gifts from the various people as listed, and Myokyobo's visit to Kyoto is truly welcomed. Words cannot express my appreciation. Although scarcely unexpected, Myohobo's attainment of birth still makes me deeply happy. Surely it is celebrated by all the people in Kashima, Namikata, and the remote districts who desire birth in the Pure Land. I have also learned that the ordained layman, Hiratsuka, attained birth, and I feel something that surpasses all words. I cannot express how wonderful it is. Each of you should realize that you are also certain to attain birth in the Pure Land. In the past, however, some of those desiring birth failed to understand certain things. It seems that this is still the case. Even in Kyoto, there are people who do not understand, and who stray in confusion. And I hear of many such people in the various provinces. And even among Hunnen's disciples, those who take themselves to be remarkable scholars, make various changes in expressing the teaching, confusing others, as well as themselves, so that all suffer together. It has not been uncommon for people like yourselves, who do not read or know the scriptures, to distort the teaching, having heard that no evil interferes with the attainment of birth. It seems that this is still the case. To hear that you are all falling deeper and deeper into error, following the words of Shinkenbo and others, who know nothing of the Pure Land teaching, is truly lamentable. There was a time, for each of you, when you knew nothing of Amida's vow, and did not say the name of Amida Buddha. But now, guided by the compassionate means of Shakyamuni and Amida, you have begun to hear the vow. Formerly you were drunk with the wine of ignorance, and had a liking only for the 3 poisons, of greed, anger, and folly. But since you have begun to hear the Buddha's vow, you have gradually awakened from the drunkenness of ignorance, gradually rejected the 3 poisons, and come to prefer at all times the medicine of Amida Buddha. In contrast, how lamentable that people who have not fully awakened from drunkenness are urged to more drunkenness, and those still in the grips of poison, encouraged to take yet more poison. It is indeed sorrowful to give way to impulses, with the excuse that one is by nature possessed of blind passions, excusing acts that should not be committed, words that should not be said, and thoughts that should not be harbored, and to say that one may follow one's desires, in any way, whatever. It is like offering more wine before the person has become sober, or urging him to take even more poison before the poison has abated. Here's some medicine, so drink all the poison you like. Words like these should never be said. In people who have long heard the Buddha's name, and said the Nembutsu. Surely there are signs of rejecting the evil of this world, and signs of their desire to cast off the evil in themselves. When people first begin to hear the Buddha's vow, they wonder, having become thoroughly aware of the karmic evil in their hearts and minds, how they will ever attain birth as they are. To such people, we teach that, since we are possessed of blind passions, the Buddha receives us without judging whether our hearts are good or bad. When, upon hearing this, a person's trust in the Buddha has grown deep, he or she comes to abhor such a self, and to lament continued existence in birth and death. And such a person then joyfully says the name of Amida Buddha, deeply entrusting himself to the vow. That people seek to stop doing wrong, as the heart moves them, although earlier they gave thought to such things, and committed them as their minds dictated, is surely a sign of having rejected this world. Moreover, since shinjin, that aspires for attainment of birth, arises through the encouragement of Shakyamuni and Amida, once the true and real mind is made to arise in us, how can we remain as we were, possessed of blind passions? There are reports of wrongdoing, even of some among you. I have heard of their slandering the Master, holding their true teachers in contempt, and belittling their fellow practicers, all of which is deeply saddening. They are already guilty of slandering the Dharma, and committing the 5 grave offenses. Do not associate with them. The treatise on the Pure Land states that such thoughts arise because they fail to entrust themselves to the Buddha Dharma. Moreover, in explaining the sincere mind, it teaches that one should keep a respectful distance and not become familiar with those who give themselves to such wrongdoing. It teaches us, rather, to draw close to and become companions of our teachers and fellow practicers. As for becoming friends with those who are given to wrongdoing, it is only after we go to the Pure Land and return to benefit sentient beings that we can become close to and friendly with them. That, however, is not our own design. Only by being saved by Amida's vow can we act as we want. But at this moment, as we are, what can we possibly do? Please consider this very carefully. Since the diamond-like mind that aspires for birth is awakened through the Buddha's working, persons who realize the diamond-like mind will surely not slander their master or be contemptuous of their true teachers. Please read this letter to all the people who share our aspiration in Kashima, Namikata, Minami-no-sho, and any other area. Respectfully. Here ends letter 20, from Master Shinran at age 79. May all our Dharma friends, who are brought here, due to their good karma from the past, listen deeply to the wonderful teaching conveyed to us through this letter. Entrusting ourselves solely to Amida's fulfilled primal vow, let us not indulge in our blind passions and constantly say the name instead. Although this inconceivable other power, freely given to us by the Buddha, is simply beyond our conceptual understanding, it absolutely assures our birth in the land of peace and happiness. The Buddha's infinite merits and virtues are bestowed equally to all beings. May all accept Amida's gift of shinjin and obtain birth in his land of peace and bliss.